on around the table, but the respect within that, and we can all have different views, but we're able to listen to each other's different views and accept each other in spite of their different views. But we all know that there is some underlying things there. We all carry the same values. We're free in our purpose. There is a great sense of mutuality within our family. We trust one another in that sense of discernment, but our kids have always been able to say no, and we've always been able to say no without feeling guilty in that journey. But it's been a lifetime process for us.
Now, I'm thinking that one way that you can have a common, well, the three parts of the fence, the values, the purpose, and the mutuality, is through our Christian faith.
Yes.
It provides all of that. And so if you've been modeling, hopefully we've been modeling our faith and respecting others and valuing a relationship with the Lord and have a clear purpose. We know why we're here, and we're mutual, and that we give to others as much as they give to us, that we can kind of have these three things all covered.
We can, as long as our parenting is not the authoritarian parenting, which is all about imposing our faith on our children. Our children have to come to faith themselves. So we model relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, but we can't impose that on our children.
Because then they turn 18 and I'm out of here, I'm never going to church again.
That's right, exactly.
So what is the alternative?
We share with them our values, our purpose, in a context of mutuality, and we teach them discernment through there. They experience life through us in the early stages. They see it working in our life, and then they want to embrace it for themselves. So we, from the very beginning, from the cradle, we teach them about God's love for us. We teach them about God's forgiveness and God's grace, etc., encouraging them to accept the Lord, but not forcing them.
Well, that's scary, because they could always say, don't really care for this whole God thing.
They can.
And that's the risk that we as parents have to take, because if we try to force it on them, then most likely they will say, I don't want it.
But the beautiful thing is if we have modeled a healthy relationship with the Lord, and they can see that that's the good life, that's good, healthy relationships, that's warmth, all the good things that you want in a family. And if they embrace that, they're going to embrace that probably for the rest of their lives.
They can tell very quickly if you're saying one thing with your mouth and doing another thing with your actions. They know if you really love God. They know if your prayers are working. They know if you love them. And so if what you are saying is contrary to what you're doing, they very quickly turn away from God. So you actually need to have a very good faith in God yourself first. You have to know that you're accepted by Him, that you're loved by Him, that you love Him in return. And once you have that relationship right yourself, then you can actually model it to your children.
We went through a stage of significant pain personally, and that impacted our family as well, from different things that had happened, not within our family, but externally imposed on us. And I was concerned about our kids through there at one stage, so I getting them together and saying, how are you handling this, how are you coping with things? And I said, don't worry about us, Dad, we've been watching you. And I thought wow, that's scary.
Very scary. Yes.
Well, if you're handling it well, then that's great.
That's right.
If you're messing up, then that is
It's
pretty
probably better
humbling.
to tell them that you're not doing so well, to be honest about it.
Depending on their age.
Yeah, depending on their age, of course, yes.
But
So
not expect the child
You
then
don't want them to fix it.
Yeah, and not for the child to take responsibility for you, because that's not their role.
No, it's not.
But they can love you.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm liking that. We're talking about teaching our children discernment and using this analogy of the gate and the garden fence. And one of the very big things that they're going to decide, most children, are going to decide to have a lifelong partner. The marriage thing, in our Marriage and Family Life title of the program. Any wisdom for their discernment of who gets in to be their lifelong partner?
I use that analogy to help young people as they look forward to that. Outside of the garden fence is the arena of life, the public arena. And that's where we meet people. We don't meet them inside our garden. We meet them out in the public arena. And That might be the schoolyard, it might be a church meeting, it might be the football club, but it's the public arena of life. We go in and out of our garden via the gate, the lock on the inside, so we can go out and we meet people. And as you meet people out in the public arena, you start to build your discernment of them. And it begins with, does this person match? Do they have the same values that I have? Now, values are not determined by what a person says, but by what a person chooses, by the decisions that they make. So I would then encourage the young people, as they walk with others, play with others out in this public arena, they look at the way values are outworked in somebody's life, the choices that this other person is making. They might say, wow, she's a great girl, I wonder if she's the one for me, or he's a great guy, I wonder if he's the one for me. Look at the decisions that they make and how they make their decisions, not the words that they say. And if the values line up, you put a tick in the box.
Okay, that's number one.
Then you've got to come down to the next one. Are we heading in the same direction in life? Do we have matching purposes? It doesn't mean that we've got to do the same thing, but there's got to be this complementary aspect of our direction in life. If one wants to be a top businessman in the middle of the city and the other wants to be a missionary in darkest Africa, it ain't going to work.
Could be a problem.
So is this sense of compatibility with our direction in life? If yes, then we can put a tick in that box. We then come to the next question.
Can I just butt in there?
Sure.
When Ian proposed to me, he said, we might end up in a grass hut in Africa. Would you still say yes? So that's...
Well, you're here today.
That's how we started off. We never ended up in the grass hut in Africa, though, but we did have the same direction in life.
But it could have happened.
It could have happened, yes.
And so you had that common purpose
Yes.
and direction.
Yes.
And then the final thing?
The mutuality that in the relationship, as you're building relationship, is there this balance of giving and receiving? Am I getting as much out of this relationship as I'm putting into this relationship, or are they sucking everything from me that they possibly can? Is it all about them? And if it is, then it's not going to work, because eventually you're going to run out of stuff to give and you're not going to receive anything yourself. Relationship is what fills the space between two people. And what fills the space is who you are and what you bring. And if one is bringing all of the positive things and the other is just bringing negative stuff and trying to take all the positive out, then eventually all that you've got left is rubbish and relationship breaks down. So there's got to be this balance of giving and receiving in here for relationship to work. And then we could tick the box with that, but we might still come to the place of saying, I don't know, it seems right, I've ticked the boxes, but just something's not quite right here. Then you stop. You don't go any further. You can stay out in the public arena. It doesn't mean you have to stop relating to them, but you don't bring them into your garden fence. You don't bring them into close intimacy. And you keep out there and you keep watching until your discernment either dissipates, your negativeness either dissipates, or it gets confirmed by something that they do. And yes, it seemed like you could tick the box, but actually it wasn't as clear-cut as what you thought. And then the final thing is, if you can't say no to somebody without feeling guilty, then you've been entrapped.
Well, if they're making you feel guilty.
If they're making you feel guilty whenever you say no,
it's not a healthy relationship.
It's not a healthy relationship. So you may stay out in the public arena, but you never invite them into your garden, because they'll only trample your daisies down.
The gate and the garden fence. Who would have thought such a simple analogy can impart so much wisdom? Thank you for imparting that wisdom to us today.
You're welcome.
Once again, our guests have been Dr. Ian and Dr. Helene Richardson, and their ministry is Life Builders. You can find out more about their ministry at www.lifebuilders.org.au.
Marriage and Family Life has been brought to you by FamilyLife Australia. We hope the program has encouraged you in your marriage and family life. For more information or to listen to this program again online, our website is FamilyLife Australia, that's all one word, .com. Once there, click on Marriage and Family Life from the radio menu. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at info@familylifeaustralia.com or use our toll-free number 1800 358 6329. Thanks for listening, and please join us again for Marriage and Family Life Presented by Family Life Australia, helping people find love that lasts.